All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah by Yahawashi, by Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the elect. This lesson is basically going to cover how, this truth is the number one priority. I think at times, some of us can get distracted by the cares of this life. How, Esau will maybe even entice you by your job or start to give you perks. You may receive some type of consolations, in the world. And what may happen is those consolations start to overtake the main priority of why Yahawashi, has us here on the face of the earth. Part of that is, to be subject to payments, to be underneath these heathens, to serve our captivity. But while we're in this captivity, the main priority that we have is that we're seeking out like-minded men that are seeking salvation, that are basically fed up, that are sighing and crying for all the abominations in which they see. And so, like I said, the lesson is going to cover how the priority of this truth surpasses or overrides everything else in this society, whether it be, family, so-called family, your woman, your children, because all of these situations really deter you from your main goal. And if anything, brothers that are in this ministry are reinforcing to brothers or men that are actually seeking, this truth, is to come up with a hierarchy. And that hierarchy basically puts the truth as the mainstay or the focal point of your life. And then everything else, you work around the truth. Okay. The truth doesn't work around your work schedule or how much time you have off or whatever the situation that may be supplying your daily bread in this, this captivity. If you have a job and the Akim, have selected a time and date for us to be at camp, and your job conflicts with that, of course, the brothers are going to try to work with that as much as possible. But, ultimately, the priority of the truth should compel you to either seek a better job with better hours or make some type of accommodation to where you're present and you're actually able to receive this word, not behind a computer screen, not on your mobile phone, as you're at work, which are all conveniences that Yahawashi has provided. But in ancient times, men didn't have cell phones. So how would they hear the word of Yahawashi? They had to go to the Agora, they had to go to Mars Hill. They had to go to the places in which the prophets were at. And so, like I said, the main message of this lesson is to have brothers realize that the truth is the number one priority. Okay. Not everything else you have going on in Babylon. So I'm going to start here in Exodus, the 18th chapter, as Jethro, was talking to Moses. He made a suggestion. And that suggestion is what, through the spirit of Yahawashi, the Lord is providing us that same suggestion as far as basically duplicating ourselves as far as men that are able to handle this workload, this labor of love, and actually continue it. That's the whole point of having that seed of the word. Okay. Having that seed of the word and having that seed grow in you to where you become fruit. And though that fruit now becomes a tree, or that seed becomes a tree, and that tree becomes branches, and branches produce fruit. Okay, so this is Exodus 18:21. It says, moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear Yahweh, men of truth. Okay, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. See, that burden that we're bearing is that we have an understanding of the truth. Okay. But for brothers that are not in the ministry per se, that are watching videos, you also have that same burden. Okay. But you have to place that priority on that burden. Okay. Like, you should be anxious. You should be seeking ways and measures to actually contribute to this body, not the other way around, which is, oh, well, I have other things going on, or I might have to work, or, I have things I need to do. Because here in this scenario, Moses was basically, in so many ways, destroying himself because he was trying to handle, too much of the load. And that's why it's essential for Yahawashi to have able, fearful men, men of truth, actually support this ministry. But you can't support this ministry unless you make it a priority, unless you make it your number one priority. So let's read here in Matthew what the disciples had to say when Yahawashi informed them of what they needed to do in order for salvation. This is Matthew 19, and I'm going to start at 25. It says, when his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, who then can be saved? But Yahawashi beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with Yahweh all things are possible. Then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Now, the reason why I'm reading this scripture is because they've had forsaken all that they were once committed to, and they put the truth as the number one priority. Okay. Does that mean that they still didn't have possessions and priorities and occupations and wives and lands and things of that nature? No. Okay. But they forsook it. And matter of fact, let's get that word here, forsook or forsaken. Okay. Because when you forsake something, what you're doing is basically you're giving it away, or you're giving that time frame back that you would normally occupy yourself with. And you're saying, nah, man, this truth is more important than whatever that carnal or natural thing in which you once were occupied with that was preoccupying your time. So the word here is
Strong's G, 863. Afia me.
It says to send away, to bid away, of a husband divorcing his wife, send forth, let go, let alone, disregard, okay, omit, neglect, to go, give up. And then part E, this is the one I want to emphasize. It says to give up, keep no longer. So you're giving up those things in the hopes that Yahawashi will give you the reward of salvation. Okay. And you brothers can go back and you can read the rest of that. But I just wanted to bring that out as far as what Peter and the disciples were saying to Yahawashi. This is Matthew 19:27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Yahawashi said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. So the point is, when you forsake all of those things, you're making the truth the number one priority. You're making salvation. You're making this gospel. You're making this ministry your mainstay. Because all the things in which you are giving up or forsaking, okay, or letting go of or not keeping, Yahawashi will give you 100-fold or more in the kingdom. But that's why the scripture says you must seek out Yahawashi. Seek ye first the kingdom of Yahawashi. Okay, in all his riches. Okay, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, this truth. Okay, and by doing so, then will he give you all those things in which you desire. But the main, there's this saying in the world, you have to keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing is salvation in this ministry. Okay. This is Jeremiah 5:1. It says, Run ye to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem, and see now, and know, and seek in the broad places thereof, if ye can find a man, if there be any that executeth judgment, that seeketh the truth, and I will pardon it. And that's what the disciples were doing. They were seeking the truth. Okay. They were following Yahawashi. The same thing in which Moses was doing. Moses was identifying able men that were able to continue in this ministry, that sought for the truth, that wanted to execute judgment in righteousness, and that knew that by doing so, okay, they had the opportunity at being pardoned, and they also had the opportunity of all the things in which they gave up, that they would receive 100-fold in the kingdom. Okay, they had a eternal mindset. We always talk about a rulership mentality. Okay, but do you have a eternal mindset, which is, we're in a temporary stage now. But if you're thinking eternally, then that means that everything that you're giving up now for the priority of the truth being number one, all of those things you're going to get back in its purest form, in the highest form in the kingdom. But there's only so many men that are actually seeking knowledge, seeking truth within Jerusalem, the nation of Israel. And those are the men that are actually going to hearken unto this word and make the truth the main thing or the priority. And then everything else is going to follow behind that. There's not going to be a moment of indecision as it pertains to whether or not you're going to make it to camp, or whether or not you're going to do a lesson, or whether or not you're going to fellowship with the Akim. All of those are the main things. That is the number one priority. This is John 3 and 21. Yep. It says, but he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in Yahawah. So when you're doing the truth of Yahawashi, you're going to come into this ministry. Okay. You're gonna be one of those men that is actually seeking truth. You're gonna be identified. The spirit is going to bear witness with our spirit, okay? And the spirit is also going to try you, okay? But you have to already be doing truth. You already have to be seeking Yahawashi. You already have to be following the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. The Lord didn't give you this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding just for you to remain the same person. Okay? It's for you to grow and to lead, okay, thousands, hundreds, 50s, and 10s. This is not just for you to click like, okay, and to forward messages, all right, and then go back to your daily activity. Now, there are helpers in this ministry, but the point here is, if you know breakdowns, even the milk breakdowns, and you've been in this ministry for more than 6 months, you should be at a level to where you can break down the names. You can break down who you are, our people as Israelites. There's a multitude of milk scenarios which are beneficial to the body. Okay. Whatever you've learned, you teach, and you make sure that it's accurate in the ministry. That is the priority. That is how we're going to escape Babylon. We're not going to escape Babylon by just doing the bare minimums. We must exceed that for the sake of truth. That's what it said here in John 3:21. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light. Because you want your deeds to be known. You want brothers, and more importantly, Yahawashi to recognize that you are growing, that you are put off that old man, that you are repenting, that you are contrite, okay, that you are forsaking all. Because without having the truth as the number one priority, you're not going to forsake anything. Everything else is going to war against that. And it's going to be a battle. Should be an easy decision as it applies to salvation. Nothing that can be compared on this side that will equate to salvation. You know, that eternal mentality. This is John 4:23. It says, but the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. You know, there's nothing wrong with watching videos. There's nothing wrong with saying Khan and, Yahawashi Barakatah or Barakathum. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. But that's the spirit. The truth has to be your own individual testimony. No one can speak your testimony aside from you. And the only way you speak your testimony is by you placing the truth as the main thing, and you getting in these scriptures, okay? You're making sure you're communicating with brothers, associating with whatever camp that is by you, and doing the things in which represent the truth. It says, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. Going back to Moses, going back to the disciples. Yahawashi is looking for these men that have put off that old man, these men that have now forsaken all, that know that this world is passing away, and the world to come is the world of everlasting. So that's the world in which they're seeking. But you have to do so in spirit and in truth. Last verse here, and I'm going to wrap up. This is Luke 9, and let's start it. 57. It says, and it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Lord, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. And Yahawashi said unto him, foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. And he said unto another, follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. Verse 60, Yahawashi said unto him, let the dead bury their dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of Yahawah. So it's a commandment. It's not optional whether or not you're going to preach this word. If Yahawashi has called you, this is the main priority in your life. You know, so really that's the lesson. And, as a bonus, I'll challenge, you brothers that, haven't read, or maybe you have already read, First Ezra's, the 3rd and 4th chapter. Because when you read those chapters, it tells you about the truth and how the truth is the number one priority. And for the sake of time, I'm just not going to read it. But, I challenge you brothers to go and to read it, because it's only going to benefit you. It's only going to benefit, us as a body. When you have a priority, you have a hierarchy in your life, a standard of what Yahawashi has set up for us. And this truth is the number one thing, because it encompasses Yahawashi, it encompasses brotherhood, it encompasses faith, it encompasses so many things that are not of this world. And the things in which it encompasses are eternal. So, yeah, really that's the lesson. Lord willing, this was edifying for the elect. Once again, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah by Yahawashi, by Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the elect. Shalom.